a 2007 RCA 25424RE1-A, more simply known as the RCA 25424, and it is one of the coolest corded phones out there. That's because this phone, if you connect multiples like this, or a few other models that are compatible, those phones will work together like phones on a PBX without a PBX being involved. How does this work, you may be wondering? Think cordless phone, but corded. So each of these phones connected to a single analog line basically transmits frequencies through the line. Analog signals, I guess FSK or whatever, or different voltages. I don't know. I guess just FSK signals. And compatible phones recognize these signals, and then it works. I just found out by reading the manual that this isn't just a corded phone. There is a module that you can insert into this slot on the back. And then it becomes a cordless phone that supports a single handset, which I'll be getting after I get the second handset for my two newest cordless phones, when you don't count this one as one of my newest cordless phones. Again, I thought this was just a corded phone, but it's actually a cordless phone if you install an optional module in the back. So I'm classifying this as a cordless, not a corded, even though it is not corded by default. And then I realized some systems like the AT&T Synj series are already like this. As far as I know, it does not always come with cordless handsets. I think there's a configuration that comes with only the corded base, as is the case here, and then you can add cordless handsets to it. Despite this supporting cordless handsets, as far as I know, this does not actually support intercom between a base and cordless handset. So if you do intercom here, it just calls using those special frequencies on the line. And this is also my first phone with a data port, so I can plug other phones into it. So let's actually plug in a cordless phone so that we can see how this actually works. So this is also my first 4-line system. So there are two 2-line jacks, so you can plug in for 4 lines. If you have 4 single-line jacks or a 2-line jack and then 2 more single-line jacks, you have to use a 1-to-2 splitter. You have to plug those into the jack to convert the 2-line into 2 1-lines. Then there's a data port right here next to the power port, and that allows you to plug in a phone or a device. This switch here is used to select which line the data port is connected to. So now I've plugged this 5243 into the data port. When we turn it on, the line light immediately lights up. So this is actually the quickest at detecting the line in use out of all of my phones. But now, what kind of signals does this use? If we turn this on and do the echo test, now we're going to press page. Nothing. I'm not sure what kind of signal it actually uses. But I mean, we know it uses frequencies. Oh, I think what it does is it uses frequencies outside the audible range. Let's see here for intercom. I'm not hearing anything out of this other phone. Okay, now we're on the echo test here. This phone does take backup batteries, but also works when the power's out. So if we unplug it, now it works like any cordless phone where you cannot use the speakerphone. You have to pick this up. Keytones do sound through the earpiece. Mute doesn't even work. And this also is tone only. I'm going to hang up now. Caller ID doesn't work because this is a online power right now.
Hello.
Now I'm going to put this phone on hold, pick this up. Then, if we plug the phone back in while we're on the phone here, so we plug it back in, it boots up, but it does not actually drop the call. If the phone is ringing, the phone will still reboot when we plug it in. So let's ring it up. I don't think it's going to keep the caller ID, because of course it drops power once the ring stops. And you can see it's booting up. You have to wait for it to boot up. And it just says no data. Oh, the answering system picked up. Now let's take a look at the menu. So this is not actually store the year. So this is just like my Amazon phone, one of those phones where you have to set it after leap day if you don't use caller ID. So we have 3 different languages. And if you're in a language other than English, the language option shows /language, I just noticed. This way, if you don't know the other language you accidentally set it to, you can set it back to English. Because there's no code to do that as far as I know. Doesn't have any service modes or anything as far as I can tell. Clear all memories clears only what you store to these keys or into the phone book by pressing directory. So this is an unusual phone in the sense that you choose ringer off as one of your ringtones, and this actually goes for many VTech and AT&T non-speakerphone models from like the 2000s. Then, if you turn a ringer off, you can choose to turn caller ID receiving off for that line as well. But if the ringer's on, caller ID turns back on. So this way, so you can turn the ringer off but still have caller ID receive, and that's how most phones work, but you can also set it to disconnect the line entirely, basically, for incoming calls. You can also choose your priority line, and you don't select it by pressing the line buttons. And this is one of those phones where you cannot use the phone without plugging in a line. And so this phone will not work in my pretend cockpit's wireless landline. This is my first cordless to be that way. As far as I know, it's still not going to let you do it if the line's not connected. So now I have to do yet another split of my consistent phone book entry set for phones where you cannot turn it on without the line, exclude the WL registration entry. So this is going to have all of my entries except the WL registration entry. Privacy has 2 functions. You can set do not disturb, or if you're on the phone and turn it on, compatible phones don't get to go off hook. The software will prevent it, basically. And then it even shows the time remaining. And then you have 4 levels of LCD contrast. This, just like the Emerson phone, you can store your area code and your regional area codes. Watch the Why Some Phones Allow Storing Multiple Area Codes video to learn more. I don't think you can hold this down to go back. Yeah, you can't. This is manufactured by Thompson, which is who I thought manufactured my Motorola phone, but that's actually made by Binatone. This is made by Thompson, and as you can hear, this is not the standard set of Thompson ringers. So Thompson has different sets of ringers depending on the phone, same with Binatone. And unlike all of my other phone menus, the main menu on here cannot wrap around. But on the phone options menu, oh, it can't there either. You can also set a ring delay, so if you have a phone of auto attendant, which this one does not have, you can set that. And then here is where you set the phone ID. So press select and it scans for other phones on the system. It's going to, I guess, just set it to number 1 because there are no other phones connected to the line right now. So it considers all the phones on the line a system. For best results, you must have only these RCA phones connected. If you have any other phone connected, like I do, it's not going to work properly. So then you can also assign an ID by pressing the number key. And it has to still search to make sure that another connected phone does not have that same ID. As far as I can tell, we don't have any special signals. Or maybe we have to do a line monitoring thing to be able to get it to do that. I don't know. And then you can name your phone. For cordless handsets, the cordless handset just shares the extension number with the base, and some cordless systems with desk sets do this too. The VTech UP407 is an example, and probably the only one I know of. The handset can register to the desk set or the base. It just shares even the redial memory and phone book and caller ID with whatever phone it's registered to. And then, if I had other phones like this, you can have intercom auto answer. And then you can also do your flash time. Oddly, it only has these two options, 100 or 600 milliseconds. And then you can do call alert tone. That's their version of the interrupt or incoming call tone. So if you're on another line and a call comes in, it'll give you a tone. Okay, let's actually see if we can plug in. If we can plug in to this line, turn on this line. So we just plugged in to line 2. Now I'm going to unplug it. Line 2 is still on. Now I'm going to plug back in. Oh no, it did turn off. Now line 1's plugged back in. And when we do this, it does briefly think there is a line connected. So if we unplug the line again, you'll see that the line indicator, oh, actually didn't do it this time. Oh, there it goes. So it's not going to let me take the phone. Yeah, once it detects no line, it says that you have to plug in the line. And then if you, oh, it looks like it's reinitializing. If we pick this up now, it says error inhibited, whatever that means. So in order for this to work, you do have to plug this in to a line. To store a number, press store, enter the number, and it's uppercase first, lowercase second, even if it's not the first letter of the word. So now let's add, for example, A-T, oh no, if you do the number first. Let's do star 999. Now for the name, A-T-A, to add a space. I forget how you add I'm not sure how you add a space. How do you add a space? And to delete, you actually have to go to the character to delete it. There we go. See, I have to go as if I was entering a capital letter on another phone. See there? Let's try that again. Let's try again. Yeah, this is pretty cumbersome. So now that is stored into this. Oh, no, let's actually store it. You have to press store again, and then press a number to store it there, or to the left to store it into the phone book, or directory as they call it. So now, oh, wait a minute. What happened to my other entry? Oh, no, I delete. Okay, let's put voicemail in here as well. So you can pre-dial it and then press store. No, you can't, actually. And then you can store it to multiple places by pressing store while you're looking at entry. So actually, let's just do that. We're going to press... Oh no. To do this, if you want to look at an entry without going off hook, you have to press memory, then press the desired number, and then I can store that into the phone book just like that. Now I can also store some other stuff. Oh, I'm thinking that's exit, but that's not. Okay, let's turn this off. We have to set it, and then we can turn it off. There we go. So now, let's leave a testing message. Thinks there's a line, no line connected. Oh, this actually has a mechanical relay in it. So this is my first phone with a mechanical relay. But since this doesn't do pulse, you don't get to hear the mechanical relay clicking as you pulse dial. Oh, now it's not even working. Did I plug... Oh, this is not in the right line. We have to plug this in to the other line. So I guess it doesn't have a mechanical relay when it's not connected to power. And then it has to boot up when you hang up. So it's only partially booted if power returns during a call. Oh, line 1 doesn't have the relay. Apparently only the other lines have it. That's weird. So, the other lines have a relay, but line 1 does not. Now, if I want the data port to be on that line, I have to switch or move that switch on the back to that line. Oh, right, this is line 3. Okay, so we want this on line 3. Okay, so now yeah, so you don't get the relay when you do another phone number line. But you do when this phone's on. And you can only use line power on line 1. So I'll just have this on line 1. So that's what the data port uses. So let's just put this back into line 1. Now let's record a testing message. Oh, apparently it's having to reboot when I change the line. Yeah, I'm just going to call this the
This group is on the phone.
24524.
Please leave it.
This is a test message on the RCA 25424 base speakerphone. And this is on the corded receiver. I don't have the cordless handset yet. I thought this was just a corded phone. But if you insert a module in the back, it's a cordless phone. Now let's do it on line power mode. This is a test message on the RCA 24524 on line power mode. Okay, did I get that model number right? I got that model number wrong. 25424. I knew when I started to get, I guess, any Thompson-made phone that their model numbers are cryptic. Let's do another message. This time we'll plug it in. So now that message has been recorded, and now the base is now booting up. If we want to get the message indicator to work, we're going to have to save this to a different folder and then resave. Now the messages are now marked as new again, so we should get the message waiting indicator. I guess it takes a little bit. It's nagging me to replace the battery. I am charging up some AAAs that are going to put into this. Okay, I'm not sure why the indicator is not showing up. Okay, the indicator should be showing up. I don't know why it's not, because we do have a new message.
Voice message.
Oh, no, it says there are 4 messages, apparently. Let's take a listen to these messages.
You have first.
This is a test message on the RCA 25424 base speakerphone.
And this is on the corded.
Oh, I got it correctly the
I don't
first
have
time.
the cordless handset yet. I thought this was just a corded phone. But if you insert a module in the back, it's a cordless phone. Press. This is a test message on the RCA 245.
Yeah, I got it wrong in this
on
message.
line power mode. Press 4. This is what it sounds like when power returns during a call on line power mode on the RCA 25424. Goose, 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 goose.
Okay,
Now
so it
power
just
has
clicks.
returned, and now I can put it on speakerphone as well, but then it has to fully boot up once I hang up.
Press 4 for the previous message. Press 3 for advanced options. Press 5 to repeat the current message. Press 6 to play the next. Goodbye.
Okay, so I'm going to save this as... Okay, now we should not have any new message. Oh, we still do?
You have 1.
This is what it sounds like when we
Press 1. Message 1.
I'll just save this as a... No, hang on.
You have 1 message.
I'll just do that. Now I'm going to record another message just so we can take a look at the indicator. This is a test message so we can see the new voicemail indication on this phone. Come on. There we go. So the indicator is now flashing. And it also flashes, it also shows that a message is waiting alternately with the time on whatever line has a message waiting. Now we're going to do this with another line plugged in so we can see what that looks like if we have it waiting on 2 lines. So we're going to plug this in now. It's obviously indicating, it's obviously thinking that the line's in use. Now I have to pick up this other line.
You have 1 new message 1.
Oh, it's booting. It says please wait. Hopefully we don't lose the voicemail indicator. Okay, good. The voicemail indicator is still there. It says a message is waiting on line 1. Now let's pick this line up. Very strange that only that one of
You
them,
have
that line 1 doesn't have the relay.
74 old messages. Press
Now let's
1
go
for
to
change to which folder. Press
folder 5. Apparently with my shared folder setup, it takes forever
folder
to get to
5
those other
messages.
folders.
Press 1. Which
Now it's
message?
going to be a new message. Now we should see that there's a new message on lines 1 and 4. The indicator is already flashing because there's a message on any line. Oh no, line 3. Okay, so you can see it just says L1, 3. It doesn't say L1, L3. It just says 1 and 3. So now we're going to unplug the phone and plug it back in. And let's see if the voicemail indicator goes away. Oh, it's still there. Okay, so that's good. Oh, just like my Motorola phone, actually, even though it's FSK only, it still keeps the indicator. If you want to clear it, just press delete. But to actually get rid of a message, obviously, we have to play them.
You have message.
Now we're going to plug back into line 1, and now let's play the test message on the system. It has to boot up again, so I just changed the line. I don't know why it has to do that. Oh, I think because when I switch lines, it has to search for other systems on that line to make sure that I'm not in conflict with any other extension number. Because obviously this just connects to analog lines, so you have to choose the extension number. If this were just a phone on a PBX, you have to choose on the PBX itself. So obviously this is on a PBX, my free PBX system on extension 2022. That's VATA down here. But then, if I were to have another phone like this, which I don't plan to, then these phones would have extension numbers and can talk to each other. However it works, I guess, depends on your line.
This is a testing message. The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Tech with Tyler's phone testing code line is powered by free PBX.
Now let's go into line power mode.
The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy
And now we're going to plug in
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
as
7, 8, 9,
it's playing.
10. Tech with Tyler's phone testing code line is powered by free PBX.
And now we're going to hang up. Oh, so I guess it's not rebooting. I mean, the rebooting is obviously when it's blank and dark while plugging in. This please wait thing is, I guess, just checking to make sure I don't have any conflicting numbers. Oh, this is actually saying it's number 3 because that's what I assigned it to. I'm going to have this auto assign an ID. So we're going to go to menu, set phone options, and set a phone ID. Press select to use an auto ID. Oh, this is cell/save. I thought it said select set/save. Okay, so now it just says my phone ID is 01, and it's working. Now, I don't think this supports any other kinds of expansion modules, like voicemail cards or anything, so this phone does not have an answering system. So this is my first cordless phone without an answering system, and again, I thought this was just a corded phone. Now, while it may look like these buttons have an upper and a lower, that's not the case. Very subtle, you have to zoom in to see this. You can store a number to it, and then also note your phone name on the buttons. This was used in area code 443 in Maryland, oddly, even though I got this from Goodwill in San Francisco, the one on Haight Street. The Goodwill where we think I got my 2224 on Geary Boulevard permanently closed around 24 or 25, so a couple years ago, we went in 22 to the one on Fillmore, and I think the one on Geary as well, and we didn't find any phones there. There is also a KXTGE 663 there. I was going to get that because I kind of want that design, but it did not have a base in one of the handsets, And I was originally planning on not getting anything if I couldn't find the TGA 600 or TGA 740 handsets. But when I saw this, I knew I had to get it. I mean, I was undecided. I was contemplating, because since this relies on other phones for full functionality, I wasn't sure I wanted to get it. But then I decided I would, because it's pretty cool nonetheless. This also uses a plexiglass thing for its stand, which is pretty weird. The cords are also very sticky. Mom tried cleaning them off, and they basically degraded, so they had to be discarded. Right now I'm using the corded receiver cord with a 10.6.2, and I mean, I have plenty of phone line cords. I got one of my replacement CL83207 base, which I put on the 274 base. So I'm probably not going to actually have this in my setup at the moment, because I have too many phones. I don't really have room for it. Because, I mean, I don't have room to even set up the cordless handset when I do get it. And a drawback to the cordless handset is, as far as I know, it's pre-registered to the module that comes with it, and you cannot change the registration. So that means if the module breaks, you have to get both the handset and module again, and same if the handset breaks. So obviously this doesn't have an answering system, so we can't leave a message into this phone. Oh, we have to switch this back to line 1. And it does flash with ring signal. So this does work with non-standard ring signals as well. If you try to do any of the multi-phone things, like conference, can't do that. So now it's trying to transfer to that phone. But it won't let me. Let's turn this on and see if we get any sort of signal. It says error inhibited for some reason. Because I picked this up. The line's in use, I guess. So we'll mute this, and now going to transfer.
To make a call, please hang up and try again. If you need help, please hang up and dial the operator.
I did just hear a tone when I did that.
Please hang up and try again. If you need help, please hang up and dial the operator. If you'd like to make a call, please hang up and try again. If you need
Now I'm
help,
going to
please
try
hang
intercom.
up and dial the operator.
Error inhibited. Is that because I'm using another phone? Okay, so if we go here, intercom, it's not letting me. It's not detecting other phones on the system, that's why, I guess. So now let's do an echo test here. Mute this and turn this phone on. Now we're going to press page. Can't do that while on the phone. Can't do that either. Let's do... We do hear a tone when it's on hold. I think that tone is to just tell another phone. Yeah, so it is basically made up of tones. That's how these phones communicate with each other, if they're compatible. So if we do transfer, then it plays that tone. Yeah, I think it uses frequencies that humans can't hear, but we can hear more than what the average phone line can transmit. I mean, well, because this is phone to phone on the same line, so that's more than what my ATAs give. My ATAs don't go as wideband as like my cell to jack does, which is weird. So when I'm using my cell to jack in my free PBX system, it is not as wideband as it is directly on cell to jack. So a lot of the special features we can't use on here. And then you can press and hold pound for a pause. Oh, you double press it. I think that's how the Panasonic KXTZW works too. Those are manufactured by, I guess, Thompson, because Thompson is who makes this RCA phone. And then there's the RCA Telefield. Oh, that's reminding me that I'm on hold, isn't it? Yeah, this phone says it's in use. I just heard a tone when I picked this phone back up. Okay, now I'm going to put this on hold. Picked it up on this phone. And I'm going to hold this phone. Yeah, so it doesn't let me go off hook if the line's in use. If I want to go off hook, I have to press the button. And no tone sounds. But now I'm going to put this phone on hold, pick this up. Now put this one on hold. Press the wrong button. Okay, we're going to put this on hold. Okay, so this phone is seemingly on hold now. Now I'm going to pick this up. Okay, hold. Now I'm going to pick this up. The line button doesn't actually flash when it's on hold. I don't know why we're not actually seeing an indicator that it's on hold. And it doesn't let me pick it up. And then we hear those sounds as it releases hold. But now we're going to switch to the other line, which has the relay in it. And then we're going to do hold again. Wonder what happens if I were to plug this phone into itself. It would think I have two different phones on the line. Okay, so now it's complaining about this line briefly because it thinks it's in use. It has to say, please wait. Yeah, this line's not connected. There we go. Now it detects that the line's not connected. Now for this line, if we put this on hold, then we get the flashing line button. We're actually hearing the relay click as we put it on hold. I wonder if that's with a data port or something. Oh, we have to switch this to that line. And we do hear those sounds as it releases hold. I'm not really sure what the relay is for. Because it's still active even while we're on hold. That's pretty strange. And this, I don't think, is actually connected to the software at all. It just physically connects the data port. That's how that works. Yeah, I'm not sure why we weren't getting an on-hold light on line 1. We don't even have the in-use indicator, unless this light's broken or something? Oh, no, it's not, because if we're on hold, no, if another phone's in use, then it works. I'm not really sure why we don't get that indicator. That light is working. Let's change the primary line. Put it on line 2, exit out of there. Now, if we pick this up, that's line 1. Oh, maybe we don't have an indicator since we don't have another line connected. Yeah, it's not working. But if we had that line connected, then it would work. Let's do line 3. Again, we'd have to have multiple phones connected. Yeah, it's strange that we don't get the indicator for on hold on that line. And you can't actually press the numbers, the keytone sounds on all the buttons, but you can't actually use the buttons to select anything. This also didn't have any stir shaken entries in it, so I guess stir shaken or have it verified or spam indicator. I guess that is pretty rare. Xfinity Voice has it, but not all of them. And when you adjust the ringer volume, it plays with tone 1, even if line 1 or another line is set to a different tone, which is weird. So this is a pretty contemporary phone for being a 2007 model. I don't think this model is still sold today. They probably have, I mean, their current lineup is similar to this, but it's not the same. With batteries installed, if we unplug the phone, it says the batteries are fully charged. If we unplug it, the backlight does not work. Exit. It still lets us turn it all the way up. And then all the features still work too. And then when we plug the phone back in, the backlight will start working again. Now let's plug it back in. It does say, it says replace battery, AC power is off. There we go. Now the backlight turns on. Oh, it's having to restart when we exit that, or look for the other phones. We press. Oh no, none of that turns the backlight off. It's just if you press a button that doesn't do anything. So if we wait for the backlight to turn off, then go on to battery and then plug back in, the backlight does turn on. Okay, so this does, so apparently it does have to look for the other phones when it reboots. If we put batteries in, it does reboot, it does boot up, but apparently, I guess it doesn't support the multi-phone things while using batteries. Yeah, it does not let us page or do any of that while on battery. I guess it takes more power to use those frequencies, but then that begs the question, if this is plugged in and then we unplug it, what happens? Does it just stop doing what it was doing? So if this is plugged in now, it has to search to make sure there are no other phones with the ID, of course. So now if we're trying to call it and unplug it, it just stops. But it still shows a phone ID, even though it's not actually being used.